Maya was a young black woman who worked as a waitress in one of the most elegant restaurants in the city. Every day she wore a neat uniform and a warm smile as she served customers with care. The restaurant was famous for its fine food and beautiful decor, attracting wealthy people from all over. But for Maya, it was just a job, a way to support her small family and pay the bills. She lived in a modest apartment with her little son and her mother. Life was not easy, but Maya was determined to work hard and give her son a better future. Maya was not just a waitress. She had a secret passion: music. Since she was a little girl, she loved to play the piano. Her mother had taught her the basics when she was young, and Maya had spent many nights practicing on an old keyboard at home. She dreamed of one day playing in big concert halls, but she never told anyone about her talent. She kept it as a private joy, hidden behind her busy life and daily struggles. Music gave her peace and hope, even when things felt hard. On one bright afternoon, a very important guest arrived at the restaurant. His name was Richard Thompson, a billionaire businessman known all over the world for his wealth and power. He owned many companies and had more money than most people could imagine. Richard was used to getting what he wanted, and he liked to show off his success. He walked into the restaurant with a group of friends, all dressed in expensive suits and shiny shoes. They laughed loudly, making the other guests feel a little uncomfortable. Maya noticed Richard as she was carrying a tray with drinks. She had heard stories about him that he was strict, proud, and sometimes rude to people who worked for him or served him. He was the kind of man who believed that money made him better than others. Maya took a deep breath and reminded herself to stay calm and do her job well. She greeted Richard politely and took their order, while waiting for the food to arrive. Richard and his friends looked around the restaurant. Their eyes stopped on Maya. "Look at that waitress," one of Richard's friends said, smirking. "She looks so plain. Probably can't do much besides serve tables." The group laughed. Richard joined in, but inside he felt a little bored. He liked to test people sometimes, especially those he thought were beneath him. It gave him a feeling of power. Richard whispered to his friends, "I wonder if she has any talents at all. Bet she couldn't even play a simple song on the piano." The friends chuckled, not expecting anything impressive. Richard stood up and called Maya over. "Wait here," he said sharply. "I want to see if you can play the piano." Maya was surprised. She looked at the grand piano in the corner of the restaurant's lounge area. It was a beautiful black piano, shining under the lights. Maya's heart began to beat faster. She wanted to say no, but she knew she could not refuse a request from a rich man like Richard. She nodded softly and walked toward the piano. Some customers turned their heads, curious about what was happening. Richard smirked, watching her closely. "Let's see if she can play something," he said to his friends. "I bet she embarrassed herself." The friends whispered and smiled, waiting for a show. Maya sat down on the piano bench. Her fingers touched the smooth keys. She closed her eyes for a moment and took a deep breath. Then she began to play. The first notes were soft and gentle. Flowing like a calm river, Maya's fingers moved quickly but carefully, playing a melody full of feeling. The music filled the room, surprising everyone. It was not just a simple tune. It was beautiful and skillful. The guests stopped talking and listened. Some of them looked amazed. Even Richard's friends grew quiet. Maya's mind was focused on the music. She forgot about the nervousness and the judgment in the room. She played from her heart, showing the years she had spent practicing in secret. The melody grew stronger and more confident. The piano sang under her touch. Richard watched her, his smile disappearing. He felt something he had not expected: respect mixed with shock. The woman he thought was just a waitress was actually a talented musician. Maya finished the piece with a soft, lingering note. "Ay." The room stayed silent for a moment, then slowly, people began to clap. Some guests even stood up to applaud. Maya stood up and gave a small bow. She returned to her place and continued her work quietly, not wanting to draw too much attention. Richard sat back down, his face thoughtful. He realized he had judged Maya too quickly, based only on her job and her appearance. After that day, Maya's life did not change immediately, She still worked her shifts and cared for her family. But something inside her felt different, a new sense of confidence and hope. And somewhere in the restaurant, a billionaire was beginning to see the world in a slightly different way. After that surprising afternoon, the story of Maya playing the piano began to spread quietly among the restaurant staff and some of the regular customers. Many people were amazed that someone who worked as a waitress could have such a hidden talent, but Maya did not want to make a big deal out of it. For her, the piano was a private world, a place where she felt free and happy. She continued her work with the same dedication, serving tables and smiling politely at every customer. One evening, the restaurant was busier than usual. The lights were bright, and the sound of laughter filled the air. Maya was moving from table to table, carrying plates and taking orders. Suddenly, she noticed Richard Thompson walking in again. This time he was alone. Maya felt a flutter in her chest. She remembered how he had made her play the piano before, wondered what he wanted this time. Richard sat at a corner table and ordered a drink. Maya served him quickly and returned to her duties, but Richard's eyes followed her every move. After a while, he called her over. "Maya," he said, using her name this time. Maya was surprised that he remembered it. "I want to talk to you." Maya felt nervous but nodded. She joined him at his table. Richard looked at her carefully. "That day, when you played the piano, you surprised me. I thought I knew everything about people, but I was wrong." Maya was quiet. She was not used to compliments from someone like Richard. "Thank you," she said softly. Richard leaned forward. "I want to know more about you. Did you learn to play so well? Why didn't you tell anyone?" Maya took a deep breath. She decided to share a little of her story. "I learned from my mother when I was a child. We didn't have much money, but she believed in me. I practiced on an old keyboard at home. Playing the piano was my dream, but life made me work to support my family." Richard listened carefully, saw the strength and kindness in Maya's eyes. "You have talent," he said. "You should not hide it." Maya smiled shyly. "Don't know if I can do more than this. It's hard to find time or money for lessons or concerts." Richard thought for a moment. "Maybe I can help," he said quietly. "I have connections in the music world. If you want, I can introduce you to some teachers or help you perform in public." Maya was surprised. This offer was more than she expected. Part of her wanted to say yes, but another part was afraid. She did not know if she could trust a billionaire who had once mocked her. "I appreciate that," she said slowly. "But I'm not sure if it's for me." Richard nodded. "I understand. No pressure. Did but think about it." The days that followed were filled with many thoughts for Maya. She remembered the long hours she spent practicing as a child. She remembered the joy she felt when the music flowed from her fingers. She thought about her son and the kind of life she wanted for him. The idea of sharing her talent with more people started to feel exciting. Meanwhile, Richard began to visit the restaurant more often. Sometimes he came just to watch Maya work. He noticed how kind and patient she was with customers, even when things got difficult. He saw how hard she worked, always smiling despite challenges. Slowly, he began to respect her not only for her talent, but for her character. One afternoon, Richard invited Maya to a quiet place in the restaurant where the piano was kept. "Would you like to play for me again?" he asked gently. Maya hesitated, but then agreed. She sat down and played a soft melody, feeling the music flow easily. Richard listened quietly, appreciating every note. When she finished, he clapped softly. "Have a gift," he said. "Don't keep it hidden." Maya felt a warmth inside her. She realized that maybe this was the chance she had been waiting for. Someone believed in her talent, someone willing to support her dreams. With Richard's help, Maya started to take small steps toward a new path. He introduced her to a music teacher who gave lessons at a nearby studio. Maya practiced even harder, learning new techniques and improving her skills. She also began to perform at small events like charity dinners and local concerts. Each time she played, she grew more confident. Her family noticed the change in Maya. Her son smiled proudly. Whenever she played a song at home, her mother was happy to see her daughter chasing her dreams again. Maya felt hope and joy that she had not felt for a long time. At the restaurant, Some of the staff whispered about Maya's new journey. Some customers stopped to listen when she played piano during special evenings. Her talent was becoming well known, and people admired her courage to step forward. Richard watched these changes with satisfaction. He was glad he had taken the chance to see beyond his first impression. Maya's story taught him a lesson about humility and respect. He no longer saw her as just a waitress, but as a talented and strong woman. One evening, after a performance, at a small concert hall, Maya saw Richard waiting for her backstage. He smiled warmly. "You did great tonight," he said. "I'm proud of you." Maya smiled back, feeling grateful. "Thank you for believing in me." Their friendship had grown from a moment of judgment into a genuine connection based on respect and support. Maya knew the road ahead would still have challenges, but now she had someone who cared. As Maya looked out at the audience that night, she thought about how far she had come. From the quiet corners of a restaurant to the bright lights of a stage, her dream was beginning to shine. It all started with a chance and the courage to play her song. After that small concert, Maya's life began to change more than she had ever imagined. Her talent on the piano was becoming known beyond the walls of the restaurant. People were talking about the waitress who played beautiful music, and many wanted to hear her perform again. Invitations to play at other events started to come in. Some were charity dinners, others were local festivals, and even a few private parties held by people who admired her story. Maya was both excited and nervous. She had never imagined playing in front of large groups of people. Her hands sometimes trembled before she started to play. But every time she sat down at the piano and let her fingers move over the keys, she felt calm and happy. The music was her strength. It was the part of her that no one could take away. Richard Thompson continued to support her quietly. He did not want to make a big public show of his help, but he used his connections to open doors for Maya. He arranged meetings with music producers, helped her get better instruments, and even paid for extra lessons with a respected piano teacher. Maya was grateful, but also careful to work hard and prove that she deserved the chance. One day, a famous music producer named Mr. Collins visited the restaurant. He had heard about Maya's talent and wanted to meet her. When he saw her play the piano, he was amazed. He said she had a natural gift and could become a professional musician. He offered to help her record some songs and introduce her to bigger audiences. Maya could hardly believe her luck. This was the opportunity she had dreamed of, but she also felt scared. The world of music was new and full of challenges. She wondered if she was ready to leave her job at the restaurant and take a chance on her dream. Maya talked to Richard about her fears. "What if I fail?" she asked quietly. "What if I'm not good enough?" Richard smiled kindly. "I've already come so far. Remember that music is not just about talent, but also about heart and hard work. You are ready. I believe in you." With Richard's encouragement, Maya decided to take the next step. She started practicing more intensely, learning new songs, and preparing for her first professional performance outside the small local events. She wanted to show the world who she really was. Meanwhile, the atmosphere at the restaurant changed. 2. Maya's co-workers started to treat her with more respect. Some were proud of her, while others felt surprised at how she balanced her job and her music. Customers also began to notice her passion. When Maya played piano during some dinner events, the restaurant filled with warm applause and happy faces. Despite all the attention, Maya stayed humble. She never forgot where she came from or the people who helped her. She still worked hard at the restaurant, serving food and smiling at customers. For her, music was not just a career, but a way to inspire others to believe in themselves. One evening, before a big performance, Maya sat quietly backstage, feeling the weight of the moment. Her hands were shaking slightly, and her heart was pounding. She thought about her mother, her son, and all the time she had dreamed of this day. Then she heard a familiar voice. "Maya," Richard said softly as he entered the room, "you are going to do great. Just play from your heart." Maya nodded and smiled. She felt stronger with his words. She took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. The audience was large and full of people eager to listen. Maya sat down at the grand piano, closed her eyes, and began to play. The music was soft at first, then grew into a powerful melody. Notes flowed like a river, telling a story of hope, struggle, and strength. People in the audience were moved. Some wiped tears from their eyes. They felt the passion in every key Maya touched. The room was filled with silence and emotion. She finished. The applause was loud and long. Many stood to give her a standing ovation. Maya stood and bowed, feeling both joy and relief. She looked toward the back of the room and saw Richard smiling proudly. It was a moment she would never forget. After the performance, Maya was approached by many people who wanted to know more about her story. Journalists asked questions, music lovers gave compliments, and strangers shared how her music touched their hearts. Maya answered politely, always remembering to thank those who believed in her, but not everyone was happy. Some people doubted Maya's sudden rise. They whispered that she was lucky or that Richard's money had bought her success. Maya heard these rumors, but did not let them bother her. She knew the truth that her talent and hard work had earned her every note she played. Backstage, Maya found a quiet corner to rest. Richard joined her and said, "You showed them who you really are. I'm proud of you." Maya smiled. "Thank you for helping me believe in myself." Their friendship had grown into something strong. Richard was no longer just a rich man who had judged her before. He was a friend who respected her courage and talent. Maya felt grateful for this unexpected connection. Over the next weeks, Maya continued to perform at more events. Her music touched many hearts, and her name began to spread beyond the city. She was invited to music festivals, radio shows, and even a small television interview. Every opportunity was a step closer to her dream. At home, Maya balanced her new life with her family duties. She made sure her son felt loved and cared for. Her mother was proud and happy to see Maya following her passion. Sometimes Maya practiced late into the night, perfecting her music, but she never gave up. One day, Maya received an invitation to perform at a large concert hall in the city. This was a big chance, a place where many famous musicians had played before. Maya was both excited and nervous. She knew this could change her life forever. She called Richard to share the news. "I don't know if I'm ready," she said honestly. Richard answered firmly, "You are ready. You've worked hard, and now it's your time. I'll be there with you." Maya prepared for the concert carefully. She chose the songs that meant the most to her, songs that told her story. She practiced every day, determined to give her best performance. The night of the concert arrived. The hall was full of people waiting to hear her play. Maya sat at the piano, took a deep breath, and began. The music filled the grand space, soft and strong at the same time. The audience was silent, lost in the beauty of her playing. When the last note faded, the applause was thunderous. Maya felt tears of happiness in her eyes. She had reached a dream she once thought impossible. After the concert, many people came to congratulate her. Music teachers, fans, and even strangers told her how much her music had touched their lives. Maya smiled, feeling proud but humble. Richard stood at the side of the stage, clapping loudly. He looked at Maya with admiration. He had seen her grow from a shy waitress to a shining star. Maya's story was no longer just about music. It was about hope, courage, and the power of believing in yourself. She had shown that no matter where you start, with hard work and faith, you can reach your dreams. Maya's journey from a humble waitress to a rising star in the music world was inspiring to many. Yet, despite all the attention and applause, she stayed grounded and remembered the path she had traveled. The road was not easy, and every step was filled with learning, effort, and hope. After her big concert, Maya's life took on a new rhythm. She began to receive invitations to perform in bigger venues and more prestigious events. Her music was praised by critics and loved by audiences. But beyond the applause, Maya found a deeper purpose in her work. She wanted to inspire others like her people who had dreams but faced obstacles. Richard Thompson watched this transformation with a quiet pride. At first, he had approached Maya with skepticism and arrogance. But as he got to know her, he realized how wrong his first impression had been. Maya was not only talented but also humble, kind, and strong. He felt lucky to have been part of her journey and wanted to support her in every way he could. One day, Richard invited Maya to a meeting with a well-known charity organization. They worked to help young people from poor neighborhoods discover their talents and build a better future. Richard believed Maya's story could inspire many, and he wanted her to be a part of their programs. Maya was touched. She agreed to join the charity as a mentor. She visited schools and community centers, sharing her story with young boys and girls. She spoke about the importance of believing in oneself, working hard, and never giving up. Maya played the piano at these events, and the children listened with wide eyes and bright smiles. For Maya, this work was more than just music or fame. It was a way to give back and help others find their own voices. She remembered her own struggles and the moments when she almost gave up. Now, she wanted to be the light that guided others through the darkness. At the same time, Maya continued to face challenges. The music world was competitive and demanding. Sometimes she felt tired and overwhelmed. The balance between her career and family was hard to maintain. There were days when she doubted herself and wondered if she was strong enough. But whenever those doubts came, Maya thought about the people who believed in her. Her son's proud smile, her mother's gentle support, and Richard's steady friendship gave her strength. She reminded herself that every great journey had obstacles, and overcoming them was part of the reward. Richard, too, was changing. His experiences with Maya taught him humility and respect. He started to question his own beliefs about people and success. He realized that kindness and understanding were more valuable than money or power. One afternoon, Maya and Richard sat together in a quiet park near the city. They talked about life, dreams, and the future. Richard said, "Maya, you have changed more than just your own life. You've made me see the world differently." Maya smiled. "We all grow when we open our hearts. Thank you for believing in me." Their friendship was a true example of how people from different worlds could come together and support each other. It was built on trust, respect, and shared dreams. As Maya's reputation grew, she began to receive offers to record her own music albums. This was a new and exciting step. She worked closely with producers and musicians, pouring her soul into every song. Her music reflected her life, the struggles, the hopes, and the victories. Her first album was a success. It touched the hearts of many listeners and brought Maya new opportunities. She traveled to different cities to perform, meeting fans who told her how much her music inspired them. Despite the busy schedule, Maya never forgot her roots. She returned often to the restaurant where her journey began. There she played the piano for customers during special evenings, reminding everyone that dreams could come true. One evening, during a special event at the restaurant, Maya noticed a young girl watching her with shining eyes. After the performance, the girl approached her shyly and said, "I want to play the piano like you one day." Maya knelt down and smiled warmly. "You can do anything you dream of. Just believe in yourself and never stop trying." The girl nodded, full of hope. Maya's story was no longer just about her music or fame. It was a message of courage, faith, and the power of kindness. She showed that true success comes from the heart and that helping others is the greatest reward. Richard continued to support Maya, proud to be her friend and partner in her mission. Together, they worked to bring music and hope to more people, proving that even the most unlikely beginnings could lead to beautiful endings. Maya's journey had been long and filled with many moments of hope and challenge. Now, as she stood on the stage of a large concert hall, she felt a deep sense of peace and accomplishment. The bright lights shone down on her, and the audience waited eagerly. This was the moment she had dreamed about since she was a little girl. Playing her old keyboard in a small, quiet room, her fingers touched the piano keys with gentle confidence. The music flowed freely, telling a story of strength, love, and dreams. The notes filled the hall, reaching every corner and touching every heart. People listened quietly, some with tears in their eyes. Moved by the passion and honesty in her playing, Maya's music was more than just sound. It was a message that no matter where you start, you can reach great heights if you believe in yourself and never give up. She thought of her family, her mother, her son, and Richard, who had supported her every step of the way. After the last note faded, the audience erupted in applause. People stood and clapped, cheering loudly. Maya bowed deeply, feeling grateful and joyful. The journey that once seemed impossible was now a beautiful reality. Backstage, Richard was waiting with a proud smile. "You did it, Maya," he said warmly. "You've shown everyone what true talent and courage look like." Smiled back. "Thank you for believing in me, even when I doubted myself." Her story soon reached many people beyond the music world. Newspapers, magazines, and television shows shared her journey. The waitress who was forced to play piano to be mocked, but who rose to become a celebrated artist. Her story inspired people everywhere to look beyond appearances and never judge. Others too quickly, Maya began to travel, performing in different cities and countries. With every concert, she met people who shared their own stories of struggle and hope. She listened and offered words of encouragement. Her music became a bridge, connecting hearts and minds. Despite her growing fame, Maya stayed humble. She always remembered her beginnings and made time for the people who mattered most. She visited schools, helped charities, and continued to mentor young musicians. She believed that success was not just about personal gain, but about lifting others up. Richard, once a proud billionaire who judged people by their job or wealth, had changed deeply. He used his resources to support many artists and helped create opportunities for young talents like Maya. Their friendship was a symbol of how kindness and respect can transform lives. One day, Maya received a letter from a young girl in a distant town. The girl wrote that she had started playing the piano because of Maya's story. She dreamed of sharing her music with the world someday. Maya felt touched and wrote back, encouraging her to keep practicing and believing in her dreams. As the years passed, Maya's music continued to grow and evolve. She recorded more albums, collaborated with other musicians, and inspired a new generation of artists. Her concerts were known for their warmth and honesty, bringing joy and hope to many. Looking back, Maya understood that her journey was not just about fame or fortune. It was about finding her voice, sharing her gift, and touching lives. It turned a moment of doubt and judgment into a lifetime of love and music. In quiet moments, Maya still played the piano at home, thinking of her mother and the lessons she taught her. She smiled, knowing that dreams could come true with faith, hard work, and the support of good friends. Her story was a reminder to everyone that no matter where you come from or what others say, you have the power to shine. Maya had shown the world the true meaning of talent, courage, and heart.